Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Derwent Valley again, and today I am gonna go over a bit of new territory for myself. We've done a lot of exploring around Lady Bower, Derwent, and we've pushed on towards Howden Dam and Reservoir as well just recently this year. It's now September 2023 and the waters of Derwent Reservoir are right down at 36% because there's maintenance works going off and surveillance inspections going off at Derwent Dam, so it's been purposely lowered, the water level has. So I'm going to walk along from the eastern tower, or the eastern side, to see if we can uncover any forgotten relics from before the dams and reservoirs were first built. So in today's walk I'm going to begin at Derwent Dam, and we're going to follow the eastern side of Derwent Reservoir, occasionally dropping down onto the embankment of where the water levels have indeed dropped. And we'll see if we can find any ruins of former buildings, etc. We'll carry on going up alongside towards Howden Dam. We'll then continue round Howden Reservoir and heading towards where Slippery Stones is and the beautiful former bridge that was once situated in Derwent Village, right by what was Derwent Hall, the reconstructed bridge. Now, if you've ever been up the eastern side of Derwent Dam, right next to the reservoir, you may have seen this peculiar section of stone blocks, a little bit of a wall and a kind of a platform. It's like an old railway platform, but in fact it's not. It's to do with an underground pipe which can allow water to come down from Howden Reservoir and bypass Derwent Reservoir and Dam and go straight down to Lady Bower. And this pipe work continues all the way down to the other end of Lady Bower Reservoir. You might have seen those green domes on the path as you've walked along either side of Lady Bower Reservoir, and they are little inspection hatches for these pipes. Right now, in fact, I'm actually on a bridge, and it's a stone bridge that I've seen many times over on the far side when I've been walking off towards the old Birchinley down that way, Derwent Dam to the left. And well, I've never actually crossed this in all the past few years I've been walking around here, and while the water's so low, I'm hoping we can actually get down and have a bit of a closer look. It's looking a little bit sketchy going down here, but it is dry currently. There's a nice little semi-archway there, look. If you can see all the way through that. Do it without slipping. No. See this stonework through there, look. So that is blocked off. I wonder how many of them actually are. Right, I've got to try and contend with this. So this is Holly and Clough that flows down below this beautiful stone built bridge down into what was once River Derwent, but it's now Derwent Reservoir, isn't it? Okay, I'm down. That is also filled in, look, but this one isn't that quaint? Look at that. I like that. That's pretty cute, isn't it? 1, 2, I'm going to assume there's 4 of them like that. I don't know. Let's go up the bed of the stream a little way. We might be able to see a little bit better. I will go through though and have a look. No, it looks like there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's an opening, I believe, or that could be filled in part way through, couldn't it? Now the sensible person in me says I should go through this one. I kind of want to go through the low one though, like a child. So let's do that. Here we go. So we're coming out to where Derwent Reservoir is, look. I can turn you around and there is actually a slight curve to it, look. We noticed that one was at the top, so there's a lot more archways 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Potentially there's one out of sight behind that bush. I don't think there is. Let's creep over here a little bit and we'll get a better perspective of it. That's beautiful, isn't it? So that was more of a used roadway up there, taking us down to the small communities and hamlets further up to where the reservoir and dam is at Howden now. Now it's used more as just a footpath and cycleway. But what a beautiful piece of engineering. And it also predates the dam. It is older than the dam, which you can see amongst the mist and the gloom just over there. Now if you've wondered what work is going on over there and you've seen the men in orange suits and engineering equipment and sounds of pumps and booms, they're creating a new overspill for the diverted water that comes down the L-port, and it's going to be a new cascaded overspill dropping down, so it should look pretty good when the water is re-diverted down that channel and allowed to pour back into Derwent Reservoir. So here we've got the remains of the farm buildings. Look, it appears to be 1, 2, 3 different levels. Looks like it covered quite a bit of ground as well, doesn't it? Outer wall just here, and around there used to be a tree just there. Look, another mound of stone there, and here I'd say this was the external area. There's a old trough over there, look, for cattle or livestock. Could well be sheep. Let's go over and we'll see. So that's an astounding little relic, isn't it? That's the real beauty. Look at the shape of it as well. It's just been moulded or carved. Look, it's not purely rectangular. And spends most of the year filled with water, as it was probably intended to be done back when this was a farm. This looks like another building, look, rectangular in shape. Maybe this was the main building. Old brick there with some lettering on. Look, can't really make it out, just make out the co at the end. Yeah, look around here, curious line of white stone there. Look, wonder what that's all about. That's odd, isn't it? It goes off towards the dam. It shows you how close we are. The exterior wall again just here, look. So quite a substantial sized farm and buildings, wasn't it, and outhouses. Gorgeous Springer Spaniel shooting along over there, look, if you can make that out. And you've got to imagine the farm was here at the same time as the bridge was as well. The farm was probably a little bit older. Interesting to know what come first, wasn't it? The bridge there or the farm. Now this is a lovely photograph, isn't it? Now it looks like it's been colorized, but it's showing the road bridge and the dam at Derwent. It all looks like it's under construction still, doesn't it? But it's in the later stages of construction. Looks like something's being demolished on the western side. Now that is going to be the farm. The farm remains is just down the other side of the bridge, look, and this is our very beautiful Derwent Lane bridge that we're looking at. This is a fantastic shot. I've got no idea when this photograph would have been taken. I found it on one of those sites with the photographs on, but the amount of sheep on there, it just shows you what this bridge was used for, not just for ordinary cars and horses and carts. The amount of sheep on there, that's a beautiful photo, isn't it? And this one's beautiful as well, isn't it? It looks like not long after construction this photograph was taken. It looks pristine and almost new, and note the lack of trees as well on the hills. This is great down here, isn't it? Let's find other things. first. I've got to get up here. So this area here is known as Hancock Woods, and there was also a Hancock farm down there which has completely been obliterated and flooded. There was also a small waterfall down there beside the farm, not really sure how big this was, and also a trail going down there because there was in fact a ford going through the River Derwent, so it must have been the horse-drawn carriages maybe. There's a number of old posts here, look, and a wall. Some remains to something here, isn't there? Some kind of gate posts they are, aren't they? And the wall curves around up there and darts up and then curves around a little bit more. There's another post here, look, on its own. Still got a little bit of the metal bracket inside. So right on this bend where you can see there's a couple of paths heading on up into the hills and Hancock Woods, down there was a place called Walker's Farm. I can't get anywhere near where the foundations were, but I shall try and find some photographs for you. Between the previous farm, Hancock Farm, and Walker's Farm, there was also another tiny waterfall, and the River Derwent curves around to the left, and then it took a right just before it hits where Derwent Dam is today. Now over there you've got what was Howden or Birchinley railway viaduct. The railway was there for the construction of the dams until completion of both of them, Derwent over there and Howden just up there. It's an absolutely amazing thing to be walking around. I did do a video about this recently and what purpose it was for, so I'll show you a little bit of that footage, and also there'll be a link at the end if you want to watch the full video. And not really much to tell you now, other than over there is the location of where Birchinley Tin Town was, and I've also got a video about that if you'd like to see it. So that's Jackson's Wood now on my right hand side. It's changed its name, and as we still continue to run alongside where Birchinley Tin Town was just over there, we're going to push on towards where Howden... Oh, I've got friends. Hello you. Gorgeous. We're going to push on to where Howden Dam and then the reservoir is. I'll see you up there. It's another nice little stone bridge, isn't it? Some flowing water. And here is the magnificent Howden Dam, and beyond that is Howden Reservoir. Absolutely stunning, almost the twin sister of Derwent Dam, a couple of miles just down there. Can't get as close to this one as you can at Derwent though. As you can see, there's no access down there, not officially anyway. Got a very similar entrance to the towers on the dam wall, excuse the wind. We've got some quaint steps to go down, look, and some ornate wrought iron gate just here, look. That's nice, isn't it? Just imagine what goes on in there and what it took to construct this beautiful piece of workmanship. So this is of course the upper dam and the upper reservoir of the trio in the Derwent Valley. I'll squat down a bit to get out of the wind. So what I'm going to push on now is apparently about 3.5 kilometres to Slippery Stones. So that is one reservoir and 2 dams completed. Let's go and have a look to see what we can find along Howden Reservoir. Pretty much where the reservoir splits into two, and down there was Howden House. The Derwent hugged this edge where we've just been walking, but eventually makes its way up in that direction, going away from us now, so we're going to lose the course of the Derwent. There was other stuff down here, a couple of farms around here. And the trees over there, incidentally, are known as sheepfold plantation. See, the water's quite low. I think this is currently at something like 65–68% capacity at the moment, Howden Reservoir. There's a small stone culvert down there in the centre with a nice little brook flowing underneath it. That's quite tranquil, isn't it? That's the other side with the water flowing towards us over in that direction. You notice as well that all the way along there they've made a stow reinforced wall taking the water down towards the main body of the reservoir, because of course that would normally be much higher. It's like that little tip going towards the former Lady Bower Bridge back at Lady Bower Reservoir. So although the building of Derwent and Howden reservoirs and dams didn't create the kind of upheaval that Lady Bower did, where Derwent village and the surrounding areas were completely thrown to turmoil, had to be relocated, and everything was demolished and submerged eventually, wasn't it? It was to a lesser extent for the land that is featured around these two reservoirs of Derwent and Howden, but it still happened. There were still farms, buildings, residential, even the livestock and the nature, all gone, all moved on to create something beautiful and essential, but at the time it would have been like living hell. This really is an extraordinary thing of beauty, isn't it? To think it was taken to bits, one piece at a time, transported all the way up here and rebuilt exactly how it was when it was in Derwent village, right in front of the former Derwent Hall. It's crazy to think that where that gentleman's crossing now, there used to be villagers stood up there looking down at the River Derwent below, which obviously this isn't. and the Hall towering behind. And on top of here, this could have very well been that exact same view where photographers took photos of Derwent Hall. It's hard to imagine that this was somewhere else, and that is now all gone. It's beautiful. First time I've been here, strongly recommend it. So thank you so very much for joining me on this adventure, rediscovering the past and also what's out there for us to enjoy today. All the way from Derwent Dam Reservoir, Howden Dam, Howden Reservoir, and finally at Slippery Stones, which is behind me. Look at that. Like, subscribe, please comment below. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.